Mr. Tennant, I have a full boot review for you guys today. Today we're taking a look at the Ariat Amos Cowboy boot in Sorrel Crunch in Army Green. So I have to say I've worn this boot about 5 or 6 times. It's held up really well to the elements. That shock shield here on the heel of this makes for a very comfortable, very much a hiking boot kind of feel to it. Doesn't feel like a traditional cowboy boot. Definitely feels more like a modern hiking boot with that look of a Western cowboy boot. Now, as I mentioned, this shock shield is part of this 1.5-inch full rubber heel. You can kind of see this band right here, and that's really where that shock lies. Now, the shaft on this is a little bit shorter, comes in at 11 inches. It is full fabric lined, and this boot is made in China. It does have a removable insole, features a double stitch simulated welt, and that full shock shield Duratread rubber sole has held up really well to the elements and the wear and tear as I've worn it. The leather on this kind of comes with a unique patina, and it's kind of started to patina a little bit as I've worn these a handful of times. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and slide these on, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts. All right, I'm back, and I have a pair of Ariat M4 relaxed straight leg jeans that I went ahead and paired with this Amos Cowboy boot. Now, after wearing these boots about 5 or 6 times, I have to say that this full rubber sole with the shock shield infused into it makes for a very comfortable boot. It's a very unique feel. It's not like most other cowboy boots that I've reviewed. It has a very hiking boot type feel, and I know I've mentioned that before in this video, but I think it's worth repeating that it does really feel like a high-end hiking boot more than like a traditional cowboy boot. But with that comes some advantages, right? So with that full rubber sole, you're going to get the longevity that you don't get on a traditional cowboy boot, right? So this is going to hold up really well to the water and the salt and mud and snow and things like that. So depending on where you live, these might be really the perfect choice. Now, the other thing, I really do like this simulated double stitched welt and the fact that this stitching on the top of this boot is pretty unique. I like to see some uniqueness there in that top of that foot stitching, and they really did carry that through here, making it a very unique boot. When you pair that shock shield with that removable sole, it does make for a very comfortable boot. Now, the heel on this is really where the shock shield comes into play. So as you can see here, as I'm shifting my weight around, you can really see how that heel compresses, and you have that little layer. There's almost like a little band that is compressing as you're wearing this heel of this boot, kind of compresses as you shift your weight left to right. Now, the shaft on this does come in at 11 inches tall, so it's a shorter shaft, but it is a full fabric line, and that fabric lining almost feels like suede. So it has these nice pull tabs. I do like this kind of army green color, and it does have a good V scallop. It is a very soft shaft, so you don't have to worry about it being uncomfortable or anything like that wearing it all day. Now, that has been my full review of the Ariat Amos Cowboy boot. Now, if you would like to purchase this boot, I'll have a couple of links in the description. The first link will give you 10% off your entire Ariat order. The second link will be directly to this boot. I'll also throw a link into the jeans I'm wearing in this video. And finally, if you do like content like this, if you could like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that really does help me to bring additional content.